Hello, stock market traders. Thank you for coming back and thank you for subscribing. Let's take a look at the market for December 29, 2021. Let's look at the S&P 500. This is the daily chart. Today's action was very similar to yesterday with a very tight range, just consolidating in that upper channel. Very bullish near the all-time high. Let's take a look at the 60-minute chart and see what to expect for the next session or two. Let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. I think it will be better to illustrate my point. Here we are. For the last couple of days, it's just been trading up here for the last couple of days. There's some light support around 47.80. If we dip below that point, I think we're gonna have lots of support around this area between say 47.65 and 47.40, around that area. Why? Because this one was a previous all-time high, and here this is going to coincide with this moving average. So when they meet, I expect to see a bounce off that area. If we don't, and we dip below this level right here, then that would imply that we're losing momentum. I would still be bullish, but just a little more cautious. We are very close to the all-time high, but my guess is we'll probably dip and visit this moving average before we can move significantly higher. The most important support for me that I'll be watching very closely in the next two sessions or so will be this moving average. Also, one more thing I wanted to mention, just the fact that it's spending time up here and not spending any points, that says a lot about the strength of this move. Very powerful. Let's now take a look at the Nasdaq 100. Very similar to the S&P 500, just spending time up here near all-time highs and above all moving averages. Taking a look at the 60-minute chart, what I would expect for tomorrow is if we pull back, I would expect this zone to act as very strong support. That's a range between 16,400 and 16,455. That would be a zone of big support. That would also coincide with this moving average. So I expect heavy support there. I still have all my shares. Well, not all my shares. I unloaded some shares, like 1/3 of my original position, but I haven't sold since 2 days ago when I sold here. But if tomorrow, I'll be watching that zone very closely, especially that moving average. If we dip below it, I will consider selling more shares or just liquidating my position. Not that I will be bearish, but I'm just going to be cautious and just book my profits. Now let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Very powerful move. Since this move, it's been making a new high every single day for 5-6 days in a row, and then today made a new all-time high intraday before pulling back. So this one's pushing new all-time highs. What I would expect for the next few sessions, I don't think it would move much higher before coming back into this zone, consolidate, and maybe try to push back up again. Taking a look at the hourly chart, I would expect lots of support around this area. If tomorrow it retraces to say that zone, that will coincide with this support level of 36,200 and this moving average, which should act as very heavy support. In order to keep the momentum going, I would expect a bounce off this moving average and continue higher. Otherwise, momentum will be lower and trading will be choppy. The chart looks beautiful, pushing to new all-time highs. Now taking a look at the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, very similar to the other indices. Well, this one is actually near all-time highs also, and trading above all moving averages. If we look at the 60-minute chart, what I would expect for tomorrow, I would expect this zone here around 39, say 39.75 to act as heavy support. It's been doing it for the last few weeks. Here, and then for the last two sessions, yesterday and today. So that level is very important, 39.75, and it will also coincide with this moving average, which I would expect to act as heavy support. It bounce off this moving average, most likely will go higher. If it dips below that moving average, then I would expect choppy price action, which would be, again, that means it would fall below this trading range, which has been going on for the last few weeks or so. Let's now take a look at small caps. Russell 2000 IWM ETF. It's having it's trying, but it's having a tough time trying to push above these moving averages, the 200 and the 100-day moving average. But it was able to bounce off the 5-day moving average, which acted as support. If we look at the 1 hour chart, the hourly chart, you see the bounce off that moving average. Now it's just riding it, consolidating above it. If it dips below, say 221, just like I said yesterday, I would expect a visit to the 200-day moving average around 218. If it loses that, then price will be very difficult to predict. I don't really see much support anywhere around here, except that it'll probably more likely visit, say, around 210 and 208. But for tomorrow or the next couple of sessions, I think 221 will be very important. Now it's trapped between moving averages and this zone, which will be acting as very heavy resistance. And then we also have this pattern here, head and shoulders, potentially head and shoulders or cup and handle. We'll see how it plays out. So I'll be watching it very closely. Anyways, guys, that has been my analysis for today, December 29, 2021. Thank you for watching and good luck trading tomorrow.